basically.
Now, were you just acting in that, or did you have any behind-the-scenes work too?
No, I was just acting. I'm the second lead on the show. It's a guy named Matt Lucas. He's from Great Britain, Little Britain, not Great Britain. The show Little Britain on HBO. Sean McGuire, very funny actor. Who else is in the show? Shoot, Marcus Ray. God, it's talent. I mean, we got a talented cast, but it's deep. You know, it's about a good nine actors, nine names. I would say that's on the show. So looking forward to it. We shot 7 episodes. It airs April 9th. Hopefully, people catch on.
Now, is this going to be like a long continuing show, like with multiple seasons? You hope?
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, you never know. In LA, not in LA, in the land of Hollywood entertainment, you never know what something's going to do. You know, it all depends on the numbers that you bring in from your viewers. So if people log on and watch it and tune in every week, then they'll keep the show around. You know, if they don't, the show won't be here that long. So hopefully people watch it though, because it's good. It's funny.
Now, you used to have your own TV show, right?
Mm-hmm. I had a show called The Big House. It was in 2003, 2004. I created it, executive produced it, wrote it, and starred in it, which was great at that young age. I was like 24 when that happened. So to have the opportunity to even have a show on television was big. I was thankful for it. And when I came in, the network was in transition. Like, the president got fired. They were cleaning out the house. They wanted new people to come in. So I kind of got caught in the middle with all that stuff, and my show was lost in the shuffle. But I was thankful for the opportunity. You know, with that show, it taught me a lot of stuff. It taught me a lot about television and a lot about producing and executive producing, which led me to believe that, you know what, I can have a long-term career rather than a short-term career. And since then, you know, it's been tons of films, tons of movies. So if that doesn't happen, I wouldn't have been able to do all the movies and stuff that I've been in, because I would have been locked into that show and locked into a deadline.
Now, you've also done, you mentioned the movies. You did Scary Movie 3 for The 40-Year-Old Virgin. What of those are your favorite movies that you did? My
favorite film that I've done? You know what? Y'all probably wouldn't know. One of them is a hood classic. It's called Paper Soldiers. That's by far my favorite movie, because it was my first film, but I got to be myself. It was produced by Damon Jazz and Jay-Z of Rockefeller. And since then, you know, the list goes on and on. I mean, I'm about 17 movies deep, from Soul Plane, which I had a great time doing, regardless of, you know, some of the flack in the media that it had. Fool's Gold, that was with Matthew McConaughey, Kate Hudson. I got to be a bad guy. I love that. Not Easily Broken, I got to play an emotional guy that was about marriage, and he was a henpecked man. That was with Morris Chestnut, Taraji P. Henson. Along Came Polly, Ben Stiller, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, I've worked with some great people. Scary Movie 3 and 4, I had a chance to work with Leslie Nielsen and Charlie Sheen. So, you know, I've definitely been around, and it's kind of hard to pick one. But if I had to pick one, I would say it was my first one, because that was the one that basically gave me an understanding for the film, for the film business, and what it was about, and what you could look forward to and what you could do. And, you know, I got to work with some cool people, man. And you know, that tape, that reel is what got me all my other work. So I would go with Paper Soldiers.
Who's somebody that you haven't worked with that you're looking forward to working with?
Who haven't done that I'm looking forward to working with? You know, I'm a big Matt Damon fan. You know, where I would fit in one of his movies, I don't know, because I don't really see me fighting in the type of fight scenes that he's had. But, you know, I'm a huge Matt Damon fan, huge Denzel fan. I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan, but I got to work with Eddie Murphy and meet Dave. You know what? I don't know. I would probably have to say it's between Denzel and Matt Damon, man. I really respect their work, but I respect a lot of actors' work. Don Cheadle, that's another one of my favorites. So, you know, I believe that everything happens when it's supposed to. So, like I said, it's a long-term thing. It's not a race, it's a marathon. So I'm just waiting it out. Things will definitely come.
Now, not a lot of people know this about you, but you actually, before you got into the comedy, you were a shoe salesman.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. I can tell you everything about a sneaker. Break the sneaker down. You got a polyurethane EVA, condensed EVA. You can tell me if you what is it? I think it's Subinate or Hibernate. God, no, it's not Hibernate. Pronate. There you go. Good job, man. Pronate or Subinate. It's when your foot rolls inward, outward. I can tell you what your forefoot does, what kind of sneaker you need, depending on if you get shin splints, if you don't. Shock absorption. Like, I could break it all down. I was really heavily into sneakers, man. If I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be working for Nike right now.
So do you have a certain type of shoe that you always have to have?
You know what? I was sneaker crazy at one point because coming up, my mom, she definitely did what she could for us. She took care of us to the best of her ability, but I wasn't one of those kids that had a bunch of sneakers. Like I probably had 2 sneakers for the year, and I had to make do. I had to make those sneakers last. And then when I got to the point where I could actually afford sneakers and I can afford to buy them myself, I went overboard. Like I probably had about 300 and something sneakers at one point, just all Air Force Ones, different kinds, different colors. And now, I'm growing up, so I'm a little out of the Air Force One stage. I wear a bunch of Chucks now.
Oh yeah,
Chucks all day. Now that I have it and I'm making some money, I can relax a little bit. And I enjoy my life and what it's about. It's not about sneakers, so I'm low key with sneakers.
Now I'm not a Chucks person. Are they really comfortable?
Chucks to me, I got little feet. I got little flat feet, so Chucks are the best. I'm like a duck, so Chucks are cool with me, man. The other sneakers are a little different, when you get to the air bubbles and thick soles, and it was great. I was wearing them to kind of add some height on me. I needed to look a little taller. So people don't know this, but a Timberland can actually give you another inch. Yeah, wore Timberland for quite some time, just to come across sexy to women, because I thought I was a sex symbol, which I am. I go by Chocolate Drop. That's my nickname. I almost made you call me Chocolate Drop, but you're a dude. I was like, well, it came off kind of weird. If you was like, I'm here with Chocolate Drop, and then, it might not have sounded right. I don't know. Now that I say it out loud, it sounds like bird droppings. So I might change it to like little Snickers, mini Snickers. That's what I'm gonna go by, mini Snick.
Now, when did you know that you wanted to become a comedian full time?
After doing some amateur nights. I did a bunch of amateur nights in Philadelphia, PA. That's where I'm from. And I fell in love with it. I won. It was like $75 for first place. But after winning a certain amount of them and falling in love with the craft, I told my mom, I said, this is what I want to do. And I was lucky enough to have a great mother that took me on her back and blessed me and said, you know what, this is what you want to do. I'll support you until you find a way to support yourself. So years went by, but then I started to make a way of my own and started to feed myself by doing it. And my mom slowly but surely cut me off and I needed to do anything.
Do you find coming up with material easy, or is it hard for you?
You know what? I don't like to say that it's easy, but it's definitely not hard. Like this is my craft. This is what I chose to do with my life. So once you get to a point where you understand your craft and you're fully prepared for it in any way, shape, or form, I've been doing it for 12 years now, so it's not hard for me to come up with material. It's not hard for me to come up with jokes. So now I'm a little more comfortable with talking in front of people and coming up with material and making funny out of whatever I choose to make funny. It's like I've been doing it for that long. So I would say it's easier to me now. It's easier than, I guess you can say, than somebody that's just starting and trying to figure it out. To me, it's not a thing of where I get nervous or, oh my God, what I'm going to say, I'm sweating. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? No, it's like second nature right now.
So would you rather do comedy for the rest of your life, or would you rather do acting?
You know what I mean? I love them both, but without comedy, I wouldn't be an actor. If you take away me being a comedian, I would have never got the opportunity to be in movies. So regardless of how many films I do, it's always going to be comedy. Comedy is what I started out doing. That's what I'm going to finish doing. I don't care how big I get, how much money I make. I love entertaining. I love being on stage.
Now, you're a father now. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you balance being a comedian / actor / father?
You know what? It's difficult, but once you get a system down, once you get a system in a I guess you can say a way of life that your family becomes accustomed to and you become accustomed to as well, you all kind of find a mold. Like I travel a lot, but when I'm home, I'm home. When I'm home, I'm not answering the phone. I'm not going out. I give my wife and my kids my time, because that way, when I'm gone, they understand that daddy has to go because daddy has to work. But when daddy's home, he's home. We have daddy to do whatever we want. We can jump on him. We can play with him. We go to dinner. We do things as a family. You definitely have to make sure that you spend that time with your kids as much as possible, because that way, they respect the fact that you're going for them. I'm going and I'm working, but I'm doing it for us, to support us.
Do you hope that one of your kids takes up your field?
You know what? I don't really know. I don't know if I want them in entertainment, but if they choose to jump into the entertainment field, I want it to be their decision. I would never force my kids to do something because it's what I'm doing, or because, hey, I can make them make some money and get some money from them doing that. I want my kids to be kids, enjoy childhood. They got a chance to have a different lifestyle than what I had coming up. I'm in a different situation financially where I can provide different things for my kids. So I want them to make the most of that, make the most of it, take advantage of it, and get what you can out of life. And if you get older and you decide to do other things, then fine, do them. But right now, focus on being a kid.
Now, if they wanted to do acting or comedy, would you kind of help them along, or would you kind of say, if you want to do it, you got to start from the ground up?
You know what? I mean, because of who I am and where I am, of course, it would be easy for me to hand them a spoon and they can eat from that spoon. But I think they would appreciate it more if they did it themselves, you know. And as you get better, and I guess you can say, and as you learn and then put the work in a little more, then it would be easier for me. It'll be easier for me to help them then. But you want them to have a certain respect for the craft of comedy or acting, and the only way you can respect something is to work hard at it, you know. Like if you're doing this, you're working to doing something big. If I just went in and said, "Here's a bunch of money, go do your own talk show in LA," you'll be spoiled by the opportunity. But you'll appreciate it so much more when you succeed and you remember this. You remember when you had these points, along your journey. You know, I remember when I had the show when I was doing my college, and I had some people come by, and I learned so much from that. Then when you get bigger, you look back on these times, you respect it more. You need those.
Yeah.